I just passed my NCLEX-RN exam, finally a registered nurse after 2 years of night classes and 12-hour shifts as a CNA, and I knew better than to expect anything from my dad. My brother got a $15,000 Rolex and a promotion to detective for his 28th birthday, Dad calling him the pride of the family. My sister got a 2-week European vacation with her friends for her 26th, Dad saying she deserves a break from teaching. Me? Dad pulled me aside at a family church event a week after I passed my exam and said, don't expect a party or anything this year. Money's tight, you know how it is. But I knew exactly how it was. Money wasn't tight. It was never tight when it came to them. Growing up in rural Illinois, I was the youngest kid no one looked at twice. My brother was the golden boy, the star football player turned cop, the one Dad bragged about to every person at the station. My sister was the sweet, perfect teacher, the one who could do no wrong, even when she crashed Dad's truck and he still bought her a new car. And me? I was the kid who worked double shifts at the nursing home to pay for my CNA classes, stayed with Dad for 3 months after his knee surgery while my siblings never visited, and never got so much as a good job. I was 19 when I saved a little boy's life at a community pool, performing CPR until paramedics arrived. The local paper wrote a story about it. I brought the clipping home so excited, only to find the whole family gathered around the TV, watching my brother's first arrest on the local news. No one read the clipping. No one said a word about what I'd done. When I was 22, I tutored my sister for 6 months to help her pass her teaching certification exam, staying up late every night to make flashcards and practice tests. She passed on the first try, and Dad took all the credit, telling everyone he'd trained her to be a hard worker. So when Dad gave me that line about money being tight, something inside me clicked off. I wasn't hurt anymore. I was done and I'd been studying for my NCLEX for 18 months, waking up at 3 a.m. before my shifts to review flashcards, taking practice tests in the hospital break room between patients. I'd applied to 12 hospitals across the country, all in secret. I didn't tell my friends, my coworkers, definitely not my family. 3 months before I got my NCLEX results, I got an email from Lurie Children's Hospital in Chicago. They wanted me for their pediatric ICU, one of the top programs in the country. Full benefits, a signing bonus, a relocation stipend. I stared at the offer letter for hours, rereading it, scared it was a mistake. I saved it, told no one, and waited for the perfect moment. The day of the family barbecue rolled around, the one Dad had planned to celebrate the family. The backyard was decorated with blue balloons for my brother's promotion. The grill was loaded with his favorite brats, his favorite beer on ice, a cake that said "Congrats, Detective" in big white letters. Hey, I said, walking through the gate. Congrats on passing your test, I guess, Dad mumbled, not looking up from flipping burgers. My brother didn't glance away from his phone, talking to his partner. My sister was showing off her vacation photos to our cousins. No card, no cake, not even a single "we're proud of you." I ate in silence, watching them act like my biggest career when didn't exist. No sadness, no anger, just calm, clear certainty. After everyone finished eating, I cleared my throat. I have something to tell you all. Dad lowered his spatula, annoyed at the interruption. My brother finally looked up, rolling his eyes. I pulled out my phone, opened the job offer letter on the screen, and held it up. I passed my NCLEX. I got a job in the PICU at Lurie Children's in Chicago. The offer came 3 months ago. The silence was deafening. Dad's spatula clattered to the grill. My brother's beer slipped from his hand. My sister's mouth fell open. 3 months, Dad said, his voice barely a whisper. You got a job at Lurie 3 months ago and didn't tell us. I looked him straight in the eye. I figured you wouldn't care much. Money's tight, right? You know how it is. His face turned bright red, then pale. He started stammering, trying to backtrack. That's not fair, my brother snapped. We would have thrown you the biggest party. We would have been so proud. Would you? I said, leaning in, without me having to remind you that I'm here, without you ignoring every single thing I accomplish. He went quiet, staring at the ground. My sister looked down at her lap, tears welling in her eyes. I'm moving to Chicago in 2 weeks, I said, my voice steady. I already signed a lease on an apartment. The relocation stipend covers everything. I put in my 2 weeks at the nursing home yesterday. Dad tried to walk over to me, but his legs seemed to give out. He leaned against the grill, his voice cracking. Baby girl, we can talk about this. We can come visit. We can. There's nothing to talk about, I said, putting my phone away. I just wanted you to know that the kid you ignored, the one who wasn't worth a party for becoming an RN, she's working at one of the best children's hospitals in the country. Thought you should hear it from me before I leave. I turned around and walked to my car. Behind me, I heard Dad start calling my name, his voice breaking, my sister sobbing to my brother. We really messed up. We didn't even ask her about the test. Yeah, they did. I'd spent 24 years waiting for them to see me. Now I was done waiting.